welcome to the promo for Always Digging. My name is Jeff Skull, aka DJ Scully Funk. Every Sunday afternoon, my partner Gary, aka DJ Gaza Taylor, and I choose a theme and play our favorite songs that fit that theme. Tune in right here.
From 4 to 6 p.m. We want to put you in the mood for whatever the night has in store. I'm playing only the best feel-good party, rockin', body shaking music from funk to soul to reggae to R&B, house and salsa, and much, much more. We call it The Groove each and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked. It's the Crowd Pizza, baby. You know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace.
Attention all musicians, bands, associations, clubs, and organizations that represent collective styles of music across Canada. Now is the time to rebuild our collective music nation genres like hip-hop, R&B, jazz, soul, reggae, gospel, and more united. The Collective Music Nation is a non-profit organization committed to the development of collective music. Free memberships are available now. The Collective Music Nation. One voice, strength in unity.
Hey, 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 what's up? It's your girl Gwendolyn Collins, aka The Storyteller, and I'm so excited that the Soul Fest Lounge is presenting yet another hashtag The Virgo Lounge event. It's all going down at Tutu's on Saturday, the 6th of August. Doors open at 7 p.m. Live music starts at 8 p.m. Coming with me is Alicia Glover, Micah Chevalier, and for the first time in Canada, Blaze.
Core Platinum, an organization where Indigenous and Black business owners can network, promote, and grow their business. Join their ever-growing Core Platinum website and be seen by customers everywhere. Plus, win jobs posted by interested customers. Looking for a reliable contractor or service? Use Core Platinum's platform to find service vendors, submit service requests, earn referral points, and more. Core Platinum. Sign up is free. Sign up now at mycpg.ca. That's mycpg.ca.
Hey there, this is Gina P. letting you know Thursday, July 28th, I'll be performing live on stage with Omar Lunan and The Recipe, Playlists and Pagers Volume 1, presented by Hughes Room Live at 3030 Dundas Street, West Toronto. Tickets are on sale now. Visit HughesRoomLive.com to grab yours today. Come party with us. You don't want to miss this show. See you there.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
The number one hit music station.
You have now reached your destination. Welcome to the EIP Lounge. Everyday, interesting people.
What's up, EIP family? Thank you for joining us. Another Thursday in the EIP Lounge. It's your girl, Miss Jareen here.
And you know what it is. It's your boy, Brooms. We have... once again, returning
co-host,
returning guests, you know what I mean, gems in the building, you know what I mean.
What's going on?
So today or tonight, we're going to just do a quick little hot topics, right? So we have some nice stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot was going on this last week here.
Right.
So we just decided to keep it light a little bit and just, let's just talk on those things.
All right.
Okay, so I hope everyone had a good week and thank you for tuning in. So we're going to start off with one of the most controversial topics in the GTA right now.
Okay.
Had a lot of people fussing and buzzing and upset and posting and, all these things. And
right.
It's Kingston Fest. It's Cultureland Fest. Is it Cultureland? I think there was another festival that went awry. I myself went to the OVO concert and was very disappointed. Yes. This week I'm finding out Manifesto's on Saturday, and it was supposed to be Thames and Jasmine headlining, and Thames wasn't able to come due to a visa issue, and now Jasmine will no longer be there. So I do believe they're replacing her with Davido. With Davido. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this festival. And I didn't go myself.
I didn't go either.
And I really was thinking to go, but I was a rock star the weekend before, so I was trying to chill out.
I'm not trying to get trampled.
A little bit. So
no stampede around here.
Right. So I guess what happened was, there was supposed to be some big acts. Some of the acts didn't come. Some showed up late, and people couldn't hear. They kicked down the VIP barrier. People are being trampled. People are faint because of the sun. There's no water. It was almost like that. Is it the Fry Festival? The one Ja Rule did.
Yeah.
It was like we had our own Fry Festival. And I'm just wondering, the guy did an interview with Brandon Godez.
Right.
I believe his name is Dwayne. And he said he will not be issuing a refund because people are bawling for their money back. I don't blame them. Right? Especially those who paid for VIP. And
so you don't blame who?
The people bawling out for their money.
Of course. I think they should get their money back.
And he said there's no refunds, but they're going to do another concert in November.
They're not going to go.
It's not about not going. We might get another shutdown the way our numbers are rising again. So where's anybody going in the winter?
In November.
He
said it's going to be indoors, of course. We'll have to be indoors, but...
Gone to November.
It's going to be in November. And anyone who had VIP tickets will be able to get in for free.
Right.
And anyone who had general admission tickets will be getting 50% off. Do you guys think that is enough of compensation for everyone who attended this weekend?
No.
No?
No.
What do you think it should be?
Hey, he needs to run back the refund. That's what he needs. That's what he needs to do.
A full refund?
Full refund or even 50% of refund. He just said no to the refund.
Yeah, he said no to a refund. Now, is that because he had to pay, and we'll go back into that also, the second part of it, but because he had to pay these artists and everything, him giving a full refund, that means everything is out of his corporation's pocket.
So
is it worth it to save his name? Because right now his name is marred.
Okay, so I'll put it to you this way. When these people say that stuff come out of their pocket, it's a percentage that comes out of their pocket. Mm-hmm. A lot of these individuals that puts on these type of big festival and festivities gets a grant from the government.
Right.
The government gets them a big grant. Not a no small grant. Right. They give them a big grant. Just like OVO, all of them get this grant. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you're bringing in revenue into the city. You're bringing in revenue not just for whatever you're using, like let's say it was the Budweiser stage, mm-hmm. but you're bringing revenue for the hotels, Ubers, everything you could think of, vendors, everybody could think of is getting a piece of this pie at this moment because you're attracting so many individuals to travel into the city to have for one night, for a few hours, great music that they want to hear.
Right.
And the fact that they weren't able to get this music because of poor sound quality. How do you have poor sound quality in something like this? And I've never seen this before in my life where I can.
So my thing is with the promoter, whoever saying like, okay, you know what? No, we cannot give full refunds. At least set something up to be like, okay, if you have, or you could show proof of your purchase of your ticket, the whole works, right? It'll be hard. It'll probably be difficult, whatever the situation is,
email,
right? or anything like that. The next event that we have, you know what I mean? Then we could do something. I don't know if it's free, but you get maybe 50 off.
That's what he's doing.
You know what I mean? So there you go.
That's what he's doing for the concert in November. It's called the Reconciliation Concert.
I wouldn't do it in November, personally.
I think it's because so many people are so mad right now,
right,
that they want something as soon as possible.
Yeah, so I think of it too, is I know you're about to jump in onto this rooms. Is it the fact that he wants to do this as quickly as possible, or is the fact that he wouldn't want to do it in the summertime again because he would lose out and making money? So if he had to compensate for all those people in the summer,
he's definitely being smart.
Exactly.
Right? Because my thing is, as you said, right, he'll lose money. Right, like
exactly.
He's not in this business to lose money like
of course.
No one else, and we get it. Yes, you want to make sure like your name is good, right? But at the end of the day, when you're counting your money, you don't care.
You don't care. So you don't care. People like you or don't.
People like you or don't like you. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So for him to be like, okay, let's do it in November. Hopefully, people be like, child, whatever, bun it. But then at least if people are like, oh, he could be like, well, I was trying to give you something. You know what I mean? So my thing was, just because he's getting a lot of backlash from a lot of people, that's why he's throwing this out to be like, okay, you know what? Yo, I'm doing something that 50.
Right.
He wasn't getting really too much backlash. And he'll be like, hey, cool. And really, it's not even the backlash of the people then. It's the artists now. So when the artists just be like, yo.
The artists are calling him out.
You know what I mean? Then he's like, whoa, okay, let me do something. Because when artists now put something on your name, no one don't want to work with you in the industry kind of thing.
And I think you gotta say thank you to Popcorn for that, because I'll be honest, I didn't hear
100%.
Because, and this is not me saying like Shensia, she was performing right now. How the hell are you gonna perform into something like that? Me, like, let's wait. You can't tell me you can't hear the quality of the music that's being projected,
right?
Because you can. So I wouldn't. So me as an artist, if I'm an artist and I'm giving the people all of me, right? Because that's what people pay to see the artist perform.
Right.
Now, if the artist is being hindered because of sound quality, I'm not performing. Right. And I'm saying I'm not performing because of the poor sound quality. I don't care if I got paid. You're setting me up for failure. Because now I watched the clips. They were booing Shensia. When they're booing her, you can hear the boos. The boos were louder than her performing. Right. So she can't tell me she couldn't hear the boos. Right? And you think Popcorn performed where? He battled the promoter and said, what are you doing?
But I think, I'm just looking at the bigger picture too, because it wasn't just that festival, it was Cultureland. Yeah. Cultureland, I believe, moved from Markham Fairgrounds because the promoters didn't pay them the Markham Fairgrounds, so moved it to Ajax last minute. And
are you shocked?
It was such a mess. Right. And even going back to OVO, got canceled and rescheduled, and I was very disappointed. Right. In OVO. Even the sound quality of OVO also just wasn't hitting like how it's supposed to hit. Right. So I don't know if it's everything was shut down for 2 years. This is our first summer open. No. People didn't really know if summer was going to be open until summer was open. Right? We didn't really know what the summer looked like until June.
But truthfully, as you said with OVO, right, or even any artist coming in, you guys do sound check. You have to come in and do a little sound check, the whole work. So now,
but I think it's. Go ahead, sorry.
No, clearly I don't know what happened. So the people who did do sound check was probably like, okay, you know what, this is cool. Or they talk with the engineer, and the engineer's like, yo, listen, don't worry, we'll tweak it up, we'll make it. You know what I mean? And then they're like, okay, cool, you guys know what you got to do. And when I go out there live, perform, you say you're going to tweak it, we're good. And then it didn't happen that way. Or sound check was good. And then the artist went out there, and then it was just like, yo, what happened? You know what I mean?
Well, something went awry somewhere, everywhere. It seems like something is going wrong everywhere.
And that's four.
That's
four of them, because I just remember when someone put it, be like, yo, every pretty much festival or concert had issues.
Was shit. Even Chris Brown, Lil Baby's mic kept going in and out, and you could tell my man was pissed. And Lil Baby's never mad, but you could see he was like, what's up? Because everyone's yelling we cannot hear you. Right. But I don't know. I don't know if we have to kind of give everyone a bly. Maybe they weren't prepared all of them. And I know they should be prepared and everything, but again, I think everything was rushed. And I think everyone was just really trying to take advantage of this summer. That's why this is the first summer I've seen so much things happening at one time. There's a lot of things happening around. You know what I mean? You cannot be bored on the weekends right now in the GTA. Right. So I just think people are trying to take advantage of the opportunities of us being open. But even to that, okay, the sound quality was, but why were people kicking down the fence?
Oh,
well,
why?
Because it starts with
one idiot.
That's all you need. Really, truthfully, really, truthfully, that's all you need. But really and truthfully, think about it though, because I saw the one, and I think that was the one with Popcorn, right? Mm-hmm. Now, with that, like when they kick down the fence, now they enter into the VIP kind of section.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, there was. Right?
If you see that VIP section, nobody was there.
There was nobody in there.
Nobody.
So you know what happened, right? They oversold the general admission side.
Okay.
So is that what? Well, so that makes sense because
that's why
nobody in the VIP.
So they were like sardines. Like you ever? So when you look at a prison, right? Like a jail cell prison, you see you put all these incarcerated people inside. It looks like a bunch. It looks like a bunch of ants in one locked up place. That if you look from a bird's eye view, that's what it looked like at King's Festival.
There was a lot of people.
There was more people in the general admission.
But 100%.
Right, and then so when you're like, wait, what's going on here?
But then also, as you said, the kind of piggyback. Sorry, is that like what you said? You're like, okay, what's going on here? We're all like tight up, squished up together. The whole world.
People are getting ignorant.
And on top of that, too, it's not even a good festival. Like it's garbage.
And remember,
people's going to be like, yo, no, my money's worth.
And so they just dashed out pushed on the fence.
So keep this in mind too, as well. The sound quality, you couldn't hear nothing in the back. Right? So that's why everybody's like. I know a lot of people that went, and they're like, you couldn't hear nothing in the back. So like, so people are getting irritated.
And I think us at this age that we had the autonomy and the ability to understand, like we just have to be better and just have,
and do you find too, it's like the comparison is like, okay, so you'll have like somebody will say, okay, so I went through this, so I was able to do this, but another person is going through something so similar, and the expectation is, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I went through that, so you should be able to, but it's like two people, everybody deals with trauma in a different way, you know what I mean? Yeah. What might be like hard to me and like, oh my God, I'm going to die about that.
Somebody could lose their cat.
Exactly.
You could lose a whole family
exactly.
member, and it's the same exact trauma.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's the same exact trauma. Exactly. I'm actually a little bit guilty of that myself.
We do it all.
Link, I just want to shout out to Linky Links in the building.
Hello.
Fix your face. What's... So I used to be guilty of that myself because I used to, I had a very abusive relationship. A lot of you know my situation, and I used to hear this girl be like, "Oh my God, he slapped me." I'm like, "Just slap?" Like that was a Tuesday. I'm like, "Oh, please," you know what I mean? And then I had to stop for that same reason. I'm like, everybody experiences trauma
exactly
differently, and so we have to remember trauma affects us emotionally. Mentally, physically, right? It affects everything that we do. Bling and I were talking one night, and she made a statement where she's like, it changed me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit. Trauma can literally change who you are. And I was on the way here, I'm like, you make statements like, oh, the old Jareen or the old and I'm like, I don't even remember who that was. Yeah. I don't know, did I even like who she was?
Yeah.
I don't know if I even got to experience, I didn't even remember. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like who was I before I experienced all these things? Do I want to go back to that person? I just thank you. I just literally don't know, because it changed me so much that I don't even remember who I was at 15, 16, 17. I don't know, So I decided to stop saying, oh, the old Jareen, because I don't know. Maybe
it's a new improved.
Yeah, I don't know what the old Jareen would have done. I don't know. I know what I'm doing now.
Yes, exactly.
But, and so, you shared a little bit about...
Yeah. That goes back to saying, I genuinely believe in everything happens for a reason.
I do too as well.
So I feel like when something happens to you, it's your choice to either take the positive from it,
right,
or create a new version of you that's not positive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I understand that we all go through stuff, and listening to other people's stories is a big deal, because when you listen to someone, you realize, okay, yeah, my situation was a lot harder, but at the same time, they're taking it a lot harder.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it makes you understand that everybody deals with things differently, but it's up to you. It's a choice. Because as humans, we have choices. So it's up to you to determine how you want to use that struggle or that obstacle or whatever it is. So we all go through obstacles.
Yes.
But how could we use that as a fuel to make us a better person?
Absolutely.
Which is my thing. And considering that I have children, I can't just think about my hardship and everything I've been through. I have to consider the fact that I have children that I'm raising. So how could I use what I went through to fuel their energy and to feel, to guide them in the right path?
Create a better future.
You know what I mean? Create a better future and make them realize that, hey, you've been through this. It's okay. Everybody goes through stuff, and everybody feels anger, and everybody feels frustration, and everybody feels all those negative things. But where can you push that? How can you use that as a fuel? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so don't use it as a negative.
No,
absolutely.
And I think that's where therapy comes.
Yeah, because
into
therapy
play.
lets you know that you're not going to say, we're not going to dismiss that what you're going through is not okay.
Right.
It's not okay, but you know what? It's not okay. But
Then
how
give me the
can we
tools.
change it going forward? How can you have a better outlook of it? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like for you to think that you're going to just walk through life and life is just going to be peaches and creams, it's not.
It's not.
It's not going to be peaches
so
and
we
creams.
Need to be presented with those tools.
Absolutely.
And I think only therapy, speaking to someone with that insight and with that skill set, will allow us to have those tools. So I do want to get in a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper. I want to hear a few stories. We will not call names, but just more a general idea of like something I see ATL thinking. I know
because I know when it comes to trauma, like people probably go to like more physical or whatever. When I think about trauma, it's like more emotional for me,
and it varies.
And it varies. Like the physical trauma, I really can't relate in that sense because it wasn't that prominent in my life. And if something did happen, it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. Like, I can forget about that. Whereas the emotional takes over everything, in regards to just like whether it be, death in the family or relationships and, and I've been in plenty of relationships where, men will want to take advantage of me because I'm too nice, like I'm always nice at first and things like that. And with me, there's no gray area. Like I'm fully like black and white. Like I can be like your queen or be submissive and whatever the case may be. But then, as soon as they start to become like emotionally abusive and like using me, they want money, they want this, they want that, and then like I'll turn into like the most evilest person you will ever see in your life, And honestly, like I can't even pinpoint one time because there's so much to where like if I talk about it, I'm gonna cry. So I can't go too deep.
But and I've cried on the show before.
You have?
I have. Remember when I cried? I sat right where you were with the mic and cried.
I literally thought about it today, knowing the topic, and I'm just like, I'm good. I can talk about this.
It's a hard
I'm
topic.
Just like, it's very, very hard because it's something like I kind of want to like leave in my past because when you're thinking about like overcoming trauma, I'm thinking like, okay, you have like self-help books, you're thinking about, listening to audio books or, meditation and then, there's the therapist. I've done it all, and for me, like it does help and I'm not saying therapy is bad. Therapy is very good. Yeah. It always fuels me and helps me in the moment.
Right.
And then sometimes I think like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Okay, a session done. And then like anything can trigger me and it leads into my next relationship because then it's just like, I don't even give them the benefit of the doubt because I'm automatically thinking they're going to treat me like that. But then I'm good at first. But then it's just like, okay, every man is the same, putting me down, using me, cheating on me, whatever the case may be, So sometimes I feel like, okay, maybe I just need a break. But then again, another part of me is just like, I need love too. I want to be in love. I want to have a full family. I want to get a house with a white picket fence. I want all of that. And I wanted that for such a long time. And I even feel like me having my son, like being a single mother, like in my early 30s. And like, I really thought I would have that, but my past relationship shaped me to where like I eventually turned into that person I was before that I didn't want. So it kind of like destroyed like that relationship, you know, where I actually found like the good person, Right. But then, just everything from my past and even probably going to my future, I'm just scared, You're
scared.
To where I just think like in this fairy tale, like maybe I'm just going to wait for my Prince Charming to come. I don't know who he is. I don't know if I'm going to bump into him at Tim Hortons. Whatever. But all that, the emotional trauma is just, I feel like it just stays with me and I don't want to think like that. Like I feel like I'm going to change. But at my age, I feel like it's just not going to happen because it's just happened at an early age.
But do you think like that's even fair for yourself? You
It's
know what
not.
I mean?
It's not.
It's like, you thought you were over it.
Yeah.
And it's that coping mechanism again. Yeah. So we coped.
Yeah.
So you just gloss it over
that's what
until
it
the
is.
situation comes up again. And
then it resurfaces.
Right? And it's like when, I hate when sometimes, and I do have to say some men, I do talk a lot about men on this show. Some men don't take it serious. You know what I mean? When they see a woman, they're like, "Oh, she have baggage and she have this," but it's not just baggage. Like, it's deep, seated. Like, you know, it's so deep seated that it affects the way you walk. Affects the way you look at someone. Affects the way you talk. You know what I mean? And we don't want that for our kids.
No. You know. But do you really think that it stems from just like your adulthood? Because I feel like for me, I feel like I experienced trauma as a young child. You know what I mean?
I think it does. And I think what happens is, so you experience as a child, and then you get over. Then something else comes again.
Absolutely.
And then you get over it. So now that's been added.
But it's like, you know, if you grew up in like you know, your like, for me, Mom, don't be mad at me. Your parents' relationship, you know, where you grew up in like, my parents were married growing up, but it was an unhealthy marriage, you know, and it's like a lot of like emotional abuse and maybe even physical. And then you kind of see where it's like you tend to, like, as women, find partners that are similar to your father's.
Yes.
You know, the emotionally unavailable, where you think is okay for a man to love you. This is how he has to be. You know?
Right. I think you are right. We tend to make decisions and don't even realize subconsciously that it's stuff from our childhood. Similar. I know for myself, I stayed in my marriage. I should have left my marriage from early on, and he's probably listening, and I really love him. You know, I should have left my marriage from early on, but my mom's marriage didn't work. It was abusive, so I was very determined
to make it work.
My marriage is gonna work. Sister Jiva, one daughter, I gotta have a marriage, and you know what I mean? Like, it's going to work, and you know, I'm gonna change him. It's gonna be okay, and I can't let people look and say, oh, you know, Jiva, and now her daughter, you know what I mean, ends up, like, I was so worried about what are people gonna say, and so I made decisions based on my childhood and not even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, you just cope. You just go through it. You shed a few tears, and you just cope. You know what I mean? I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is, okay, the same way I believe everybody deals with trauma differently, I do believe that you heal differently.
Right.
So to somebody, you know, counseling might work, but to be honest with you, I've attempted counseling, and I went in the office. Yes, I walked in and I've had a conversation, and I lied the entire time.
Why did you lie to the counselor? I hope the counselor is not listening.
Exactly, because once I stepped in, I realized that me and him don't see eye to eye, and his life is different, and he won't comprehend what I'm saying. Which you kind of have to be able to connect with the person that. So, long story short, the best thing that's ever worked for me is God. So, and it might be different for somebody else, you know what I mean? But for me, I feel like I've always had a strong connection with God when I was, from when I could remember. And I feel like me having a conversation with God gives me healings. And not even just that, just being by myself. Being by myself and just kind of acknowledging what I'm feeling, whatever it is, I'm feeling it and I'm facing it. You know what I mean? I'm eye to eye with the anger. I'm eye to eye with whatever. If I'm angry, don't come around me. You know what I'm saying? So I went through that transition of feeling angry, feeling depressed, feeling whatever. All those emotions that anybody could ever experience, I feel like I've went through it. You know what I mean? But when I talk to somebody and they're dealing with their healing process, their healing process is completely different from mine.
Absolutely.
Just yesterday, I was having a conversation with my niece, right? And she was saying to me, she went through, she experienced something when she was super young. And she went through counseling, and they helped her draw and this and that, and like a lot of different steps. And I was like, oh, that would never work for me. So I didn't agree with her. But after she explained what it did for her today, which is 10 years later or whatever, I realized it helped her. And I said to her, I'm like, I agree. Why? Because I feel like it would have never helped me at her stage, but it helped her. You know what I mean? So even though we all go through trauma, and like I said before, it could be a cat or your
whole family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just trauma is trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's just recognizing it, and then I feel like dealing with it head on your own terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think that's the key point is you have to deal with it.
You have to deal with it.
At some point.
Yes.
Like you can't have it bottled up. You know what I mean? Can I ask if when you went to go speak to someone, was the person Caucasian?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So the importance of Black therapists is crazy. So my cousin, she was supposed to be on the show today. She's a therapist in Delaware. She's just going through some things with our family right now herself. So she just felt she wasn't able to come on today. But prior to that, I was also looking on Psychology Today, the website, and I felt so good to see there's a whole section for Black therapists, like pages, like in the GTA. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you can pick like what you're experiencing, and so there's like registered social workers, there's psychotherapists, there's psychiatrists, there's psychologists. There is all these abundance of people that are out there that you can speak to. You know what I mean?
Can we get their number?
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to access it because I want to have another show about domestic abuse. But I was so happy to see, like, I was smiling when I was looking at it. And I'm like, but I don't think a lot of us know that that's even
available
there. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, I don't want to speak to someone who's Black, but where do I start? So Psychology Today is the website, and you can put in like Black therapists in Toronto. And it will bring up with their picture. Some of them have a video. Their costs, unfortunately, in Ontario, those things are not covered, which I feel like they should be covered because it's very expensive, but we all need help, to make this country better. But amazing, so you can like I said, do it for, youth and adults and, anything sexual experiences you went through, or any, there was a list, rooms, sorry about that. There was a list of different type of things that you can speak to somebody with. Yeah. So definitely, I think we should utilize that more. And I think maybe that was the problem, is that, like you said, you couldn't connect. And I have some Caucasian friends who are like, oh, my trauma is trauma.
I know it's opposite for me,
and it's not,
because I honestly preferred. I felt like the fact. That shame.
Yeah.
Because I felt like me open up to somebody that looked like me, walked like me, talked like me, I could not be as open. And it's weird. That almost shames me, like, okay, who do you know? Like, you know what I mean? So for me, it's somebody that was different. And it might be different for everybody, but I personally felt more comfortable with someone who just, I don't know you.
Right.
Yeah, I was scared they're going to call Jose.
Really? I was,
but that's a serious fear. Why a lot of people don't share. I remember Children's Aid coming to my house during my marriage, and I taught the kids, like, yo, you're not chat nothing. You know what I mean? And I can remember my middle son, and she asked him, she's like, is there anything you're afraid of in the house? And he said yes. I was listening, and he said yes. I was like, oh God, give it I'm like, let me pack his bags, because they're about to take it. Let me just pack his bags. And my son, the middle one, Amar's like, I'm afraid of ghosts.
You're like, thank you, Jesus.
I was like, thank you, Lord. She just looked at him and blinked his eyes, and she just didn't bother. But that fear was there of like, oh my gosh, because I feel like the system is built not to work for us. Yeah. So immediately in a situation like that, where they should, I feel like, be pulling the person who's doing the offense out of the house, they're pulling like the person, the kids, everything, like they're disrupting the whole household. So I do So I do understand that fear of not wanting to share.
I lost my
It's okay.
My son's father. I lost my son's father when I was 16. Right. Mm-hmm. So I looked around and I was like, nobody's gonna help.
Yeah.
And if anything, people were against me, looking down on me, expecting me to fail. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So for me, it was me against the world.
Right.
So how could I genuinely trust somebody to speak to them about how I feel? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I had no choice but to use that strength that my mother showed me, whether she was going through trauma or whatever it is. I had to pull that strength in and pull up and then fit. And guess what? Today he's 20 years old.
Amazing.
He's graduated scholarships, university, basketball player. So I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
So you did good.
She's a role model.
You did good.
You know what I mean? It's not even just me. It's a matter of our strength. But
Right.
imagine we had help. And
How
I'm
much
not
easier
talking
it would have
about
been.
baby father help or
No.
whatever, because guess what? My thing isn't bashing black men, because
Right.
at the end of the day, my son's father, he was full force in.
Right,
He
right.
passed away.
Right.
So it's a matter of I was by myself.
At 16.
And nobody was there.
Yeah.
My
At
mother
16.
had her children. Remember, she had me
Yeah.
at a very young age.
Right.
So she had her children at the same time I had my kids.
Right.
So my son,
Right.
my mother had 2 children within the same year of me
Right.
having my
Right.
son.
Right.
I had zero help.
Right.
I didn't feel sorry for myself, and I don't encourage anybody to feel sorry for themselves.
Right.
Because I feel like that's a crutch.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And it basically stops you from moving forward. But I don't. I've never gave credit to myself,
Right.
Because I feel like I just did what I had to do,
But you
and that's
should
what
give credit to yourself, though. Because
and then I have, for me, I feel like I give all women credit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I feel like when we're faced
with adversity,
we go full force.
We have to. We have no choice.
We have no choice.
We have no choice to like crumble, and I apologize.
No, it's okay.
You know, it's just
Just
like
a beautiful person.
hearing that, you know, 16, like, where was my help? You know what I'm saying?
And the thing about it is, it's like your help. It's I have to be so thankful for like the sisterhood that I had.
Yeah.
Because it was like my friends when I was like 19 having to work a job, and like my job's through to 11. And it's like, okay, where are my kids gonna go? Who's
Yeah.
picking up the kids from school? It's my friend that's picking up the kids.
Yep. Right.
It's my
Right.
friend that you know what I mean? It's my friend that has to drop. If I
Vice
forgot a
versa.
lunch, it's my friend that has to go and bring them lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it takes a village. It,
It
really
does.
does.
Yeah.
It's,
It
and that's
really
what the
does.
importance is. Like, you know, you have to like.
That's
really does.
definitely one thing that I you guys know.
Yeah.
I'm a kids person. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yes, my
Bringing them to Bling Bling.
My daughter was there for like 5 days.
Bring them to Bling the whole summer.
But guess what? I love kids, yes.
Yeah.
But I've also been blessed to be surrounded with clockwise people.
Right.
These guys have been my friends
Forever.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know if I say I give up,
Yeah.
they're there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I mean?
And that's important.
It's important.
Yeah, I think that's really important. You
Yeah,
guys have been
it's
friends.
it's
I
have
can
to have a
attest to
village.
that. You guys have been friends for a long
You have to have girlfriends
long
where it's
time.
like there's, you know, like there's.
I think
Girl,
it's a gift.
this
I
is
don't
what's
think
going
it's
on.
something that
Yes.
you could just get.
I know it's
Yeah.
like
It's a gift.
it's like that. Like for me to be able to like have friends where it's okay, like there's no shame. There's if I call you and I say, "Girl, I'm having a breakdown," it's okay. We're coming
Right.
to get cakey. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no. This is like everything's just open. And
Right.
A lot of people don't have that.
They don't have that, and they don't want to have
They
the
definitely don't have
discussions
that.
about it either.
Because you're gonna have a girl to be like, "Girl, you know."
And then they're on the phone with the
Yes.
next girl saying,
You know, this
who
is what
just
she's
called
going
me?
through.
You know what I mean? And then so then it's like it's
I'm the one that
Shall lose our mind.
You need to get it together. Blah blah blah.
Yes,
In
amongst
case-
ourselves,
Yeah.
though, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? This person's going through this. Let's go there right,
Right,
now. We're
right,
going there. We're pulling
right.
up.
We have to, and especially unfortunately in the city that we live in.
Yes,
'Cause it's a toxic city. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
You know what I
We
mean?
weren't born there, so
Like-
Maybe that's the blessing. That's the blessing.
Because that is really that's
Yeah.
what's really needed. And I think, you know, again, it's like mentioning no judgment. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like
Yep.
it's
A safe
okay.
place.
It's okay to forget lunches.
Yes.
It's okay to forget your kid to bathe in the night. You know what I mean? Because you got tired. It's okay. Like those things are okay because it happens, and sometimes you just have to be vulnerable. And I think we live in a society where we're not allowed to be vulnerable. I decide I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to cry when I want to cry. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I'm going to cry when I
I don't
want to
want to be tough anymore.
wanna-
I'm not the tough cakey anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want
I'm not
struggle
going
love.
to. I'm sad. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like I wake up today and it's like, what's wrong? Nothing. I'm just sad.
I wanna
You know
lay
what
in bed
I'm
all day.
tired. Like it's okay. I just don't want to today. You know what I mean? And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's what we have to keep telling people, like that's okay. I know I used to always like with my daughter have this narrative of like when you get older and you know get a job and you go to university and you get a job and you find a husband and you have kids, and I was like, no, that's too much pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm like, hey, when you get older and you excel in the career that you choose to excel in, and you have friends and you travel and you get to know yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like whatever it is you want to do, with some guidance, of course, you know, but whatever it is you wanted to, I decided to take that pressure away from her because I had that pressure.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because having that pressure, we didn't, right?
It was like
that. And then when it didn't happen, we seen the disappointment on our
I know.
face.
It's like me when I was having a child at like 17, there was like this shame. Mm-hmm. It's like your mom's friends talking about you, the churches was talking about you.
Yes.
Everybody's like, and you just like, you're holding your stomach like, oh my God, I killed a man.
Right. You might as well
I'm just having a baby.
Yeah, you might as well have.
It's the same thing, you know,
I mean?
and it's like this shame. And it's funny because I saw one of my friends. Okay, I saw a child, a little 18, having a baby, and you know they're doing like baby showers and gender reveals, and I'm like, that would have never been me
at all,
because we were not allowed to do that
at all.
It's like you have to go in the room. You're pregnant.
Yeah.
My mom's friends coming over, go in the room because you're over there.
The shame,
and
that shame is such a bad thing.
And that's traumatic on its own.
That's trauma on its own.
It's very traumatic.
Going in the room and knowing that this is how your mother,
absolutely,
your mother,
and your mom didn't feel like it, but it's because of like her peers that she has around her. They're making her feel some type of way over it. So it's like it kind of like trickles on to you because you can see the embarrassment in her eyes.
Of course,
you know,
yeah, of course, and it's because she's worried. What are people gonna say?
And I can kind of get it now because Deja's 18, and I look at her and I'm like, Deja's a baby. I can't see what the like, you know what I mean? I can't see.
It's funny because just yesterday I was with her son, and he said to me, he's like, you know what? He's like,
told you what I said?
No.
Oh.
He said to me, I remember when we used to drive around and you used to do silly things, and I didn't understand. He's like, I thought you were just a big kid. He's like, but you were my age.
Yeah, you were young.
Do you know what I mean?
You were young.
Like, you're doing the things that I was doing at that age. I'm like, Kiki, we were only 16.
Yeah, you guys are young. Yeah, you guys were young.
I look at my daughter. She'll be in the room all day. She's like watching shows, and I have to make her breakfast, make her dinner. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, my poor mother.
Yeah, having to know that that's what
I get it now, but.
So I actually have a question.
What is it?
Rooms I got to step up. So my thing is, how do you women feel? It takes two to tango, and you guys are talking about trauma and the shame when you guys were young having kids. What about the male aspect? Like, because it seems like it's unfair.
It's not,
When I mean unfair, I'm talking about like it seems like it's all on the women and the girls. Be like, oh, shame, lock up, but the men's just like.
That's a
big up, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, like, we have no shame. Everyone's like, oh, okay, you have a kid, take care of your pitney. Yeah. But you know what I mean? That's it. Yeah. So how do you guys feel? Does that mess you up a little bit, or does that kind of play a little factor of the trauma being like, okay, so the guys get off easily, or the baby daddy get off
now
easily?
I get it, though. You know I get it now for men, like, because looking back now on my two older kids, their dad, and I saw, like, when I had my first son, his mom sent him away far away.
Right.
And I was angry about that. He wasn't there when I had him. You know what I mean? But now I look back and I'm like, I was angry at her because I felt like, how could you do that? But now I look back, I'm just like, it was hard for her because you're seeing your baby having a baby.
Right.
Yeah. So you're just thinking, okay, let me just let him go have a better life.
Right.
And then on the flip side, now my brother had a child at 19. He had like basketball scholarships. He decided, because my mom was different, I'm going to stand on it and I'm going to take care of my child.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
It's like different scenarios. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be angry at the person that decided to like step forward and do what they needed to do because it's hard.
Right.
It's very hard, you know?
I feel like as women, we, no matter how much a man wants to be there, and, if you had a child at 17, right, for instance. Right, since you asked the question. If you had the child at 17, I feel like the burden you would take compared to your 17-year-old girlfriend would be completely different. Because why? She's having to breastfeed. She's having to stop going to school. She's having, you know what I'm trying to say? Compared to you. And then again, not to take away from how your life would change, you're going to have to start thinking about the future and putting yourself, like her brother, for instance, putting his life on aside and focusing on the child and so on. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like as women, we take on more than the men.
Definitely, because you have to understand, in that moment, sorry, I'm talking loud now. In that moment, this is where you guys' minds change.
Yes.
So now you're not just thinking about yourself; you're thinking about your baby.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. For guys, we're still immature.
Yes.
In that sense,
Right.
so if at 17, as my lady was saying about like her brother having scholarships the whole world
Yeah.
and stepping up, right?
Mhm.
Most guys would be like, okay, breastfeed, do your thing. I still gotta play basketball.
Yes.
I still gotta go here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still gotta do a little bit of clubbing. Okay, I'll
Right.
come back, see my baby, kiss on the forehead, and bounce.
Right.
So men, we don't. I believe we don't go through that trauma that you guys go through because
No,
at the end
not
of
the
the day. Or the struggle,
Yeah.
you could say a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
It's
of that.
different. It's different because
Right.
it might be, for me, it might be a big deal, but for you, it's also a big deal. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The same way trauma is different for everybody, it's the same concept with men and women. So I feel like we just take on
More.
a bigger burden.
Absolutely.
For example, my son's father, he was around my whole pregnancy. He passed away 3 weeks after my son was born. But the entire time I was pregnant, I watched his transition. I watched him change his entire life. I watched him change his wardrobe. I watched him get us a house that was rent to own. He was only 19 years old. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
He's one of the rare ones. Let's
Yes,
be real.
but then again, his circumstances didn't allow him to give his child the opportunity that he wanted to give him. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's where it all differs. That's why for me, it's hard to judge other men because I feel like there are men out there that are willing to go above and beyond,
So,
but just didn't
Quick
get
question.
the opportunity.
Was it like for both of you cases? Because for your brother,
Yeah.
was it your mom, and for your son's dad, was it his mom that was kind of like,
No.
you guys need to?
It was him.
I think it was just my brother, just who
Yeah.
he was, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like with her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
So
brother
Brian-
grew up where it was just like my parents were married.
Right.
And then when my brother was born, my parents separated. So it's funny how like different circumstances,
Right.
different things will happen because again, my brother grew up without a father, but my brother is now like the most outstanding dad you could ever think of.
Right.
And he never grew up with a father.
Right.
But it's like, you know, different things changes you for different ways. You know what I mean? The outcome of it is completely different because you have men that grew up without fathers and their crunches. Oh, I never grew up with a dad, so I don't know how to be a dad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what we were saying last
Yeah.
week. We were saying that
Yeah.
last week on the show because we were talking last week about absent fathers.
Yeah.
Well, absent parents.
So was this your younger brother as well?
What?
Or,
This is
or-
my younger brother.
So, but I guess we could say that his surroundings, right, make him see like, okay, I gotta step up and be a man. So even if the parents
Yeah.
like now he's looking at bigger sisters, auntie.
Yeah,
whoever,
he's seeing
right?
everything
So
around
he's seeing
him.
everything
Outlook.
around it,
Yeah,
and on top of
I
that,
think it's outlook
I
a
think
lot.
it's outlook because the
Right.
truth is certain men will see something and perceive it in a different way compared to
Yeah.
another person.
Right.
So it's
It's
all
perspective.
about yes, perspective.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
for him, he chose to look at it in a way where okay, I have to be there full force because I seen my older sister
Right.
and my mom go through this. Where another man would look at it and say, hey, they got it together, so they can handle it on their own. Let me just go do whatever. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right, but kind of piggyback on what you're saying, but as a man as well too, right? If a man or a boy, brother, whoever respects women and respects their sisters, especially,
Yeah.
their mind's going to change.
Absolutely.
In what way, though?
So maybe it's the way they were raised.
I believe in a positive way, of
Yeah.
course, right? So for them to be like, I don't think your brother, whoever is going to be whatless, to be like, okay, because
Yeah.
he already knows, okay, maybe mom and dad split up.
I believe
But the
that's your
sisters-
outlook.
Yeah.
which is the outlook, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
the sisters, right, and aunties, whoever are coming around, will be like,
Yeah.
what are you dealing with?
And you know what, too?
I believe that's
it-
his outlook because guess what? I've seen men that, for instance, not to touch on subjects, but I've seen men that have watched women around them, single mothers, sisters, and whatever, go through stuff, and they're assholes.
But do you think it's... Do you
And
think,
they're selfish.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think also it's like... Because for me, my brother knows you cannot come around me and not take care of your children.
Right, right.
It's you know what I mean. So do you think as a woman, it's like what we allow? Because it's like if a mom, because there are moms that knows their son's not doing what they need to do,
Right.
and they'll still be supporting. You can't come to Christmas dinner.
Right.
You can't come to Easter if
So,
you're not out there taking care of your child.
I think that's what I was trying to get to earlier, and we did go a little off topic, but that's okay. No problem.
We're all the way off topic.
But part of it is, and that's even like we can weave it right back into trauma, is the calling out of people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we need to call out more people.
Absolutely.
We need to say, hey, yo, you're wrong.
Exactly.
Like, you're my friend, I love you. You're my brother, I love you. You're my
Yes.
sister, I love you, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
And this is why you're wrong. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And maybe you need to go get help. You know,
Yeah.
do you need me to help you?
Yes,
Find
exactly.
help. And I think that's the only way that like these things are going to change.
But do you think, and that's to see trauma again, because I find that some mothers that go through their own trauma, they think it's okay. So when their sons are doing the same thing, they're not even acknowledging the fact that they are there's that inner turmoil that they're dealing with. So it's like, it's normal for them.
So do I think that necessarily that there's hope for the generations before us?
I think there is.
You think so? I don't think so. I think
I think so, Jareen.
Listen,
there is.
I think these, women and men in their 70s are just. I know a couple that's in their 80s.
I'm not talking about them, though. I'm talking about the 20-year-olds.
Okay, so what I mean,
children that we're raising,
generation before us.
Exactly, they're done.
Just so after us. So the generation after us, there's hope for generations after us, but the generations before us,
who cares?
We can't look at that. That's done. Yeah,
we the mothers are not tolerating it.
They're set in their ways. These people,
So that's why I think it's
80s,
important for
70s.
us to speak out, is because we can actually influence the future.
That's
compared
it.
to teaching old dogs new tricks. You can't.
Right. I can remember telling my son at one point, I was like, yo, you're not going to like me. You're not going to be my friend. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I have to tell you certain things about yourself. You know what I mean? Because if I don't tell you, then... And like you said, I'm not going to pretty up certain things.
No,
That's why
we're
sometimes
not.
he don't like to talk to me. Because I'm not going to pretty up certain things. Even with him and his girlfriend, I don't choose sides. I'm very much like, listen, you're wrong and you're wrong. You both are wrong. You know what I mean? And like, sometimes I'm even like, yo, why do you even deal with him? You guys are young. Go experience life, So I'm very much about, just in the last, probably this year, I just decided I'm just going to call out everybody. What I'm seeing, and I want people to call me out also. I don't like it sometimes. I get defensive, I sometimes... I get defensive.
People around you.
I get defensive, but then I have to remember that, again, these are people around me that love me.
Absolutely.
They want the best for me. They want the best for my children.
Absolutely.
So I got to sometimes take what they say and apply it.
Yeah.
But it's hard. But I'm like, I think we need to call out more of these things, whether it be emotional trauma like you're experiencing. ATL, you said, was more emotional for you, and seeing someone doing that to someone else, we have to call that out, and sometimes, like you said, just calling, sometimes your friend will call you and say, hey, I'm having a rough day, but sometimes us just reaching out too and be like, hey, yo, you're good, you know what I mean? Like, haven't heard from you, are you okay, what's going on? And I think we all need to do that more. I think that's the only thing that's going to give us hope. And if we don't do it now, then again, Deja, our kids are going to be having this conversation saying our parents, you know what I mean? They went through trauma and they went through, it's coming just now. They were strong. I don't want to be strong. It's coming just now. I'm in my 40s. You guys are in your 30s. You know what I mean? So it's coming just now where they're going to have conversations. And I want the conversation to be like, yo, we went to therapy, or me and my mom did this, and I was able to self-reflect, and I was able to learn, and I was able to do this and apply this. And, I think, right?
Yeah, but do you also think
my mom still thinks I'm a virgin.
Girl. Oh my God, she really?
Yeah.
But do you also think though? I find when we grew up, I don't know, like in the Caribbean household, it's like sit in the corner and shut up.
Right.
If you remember the saying, keep yourself in a child's place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't like say, oh, I'm mad about something. I don't agree with you because you're talking back.
I tell my mom all the time, my poor mom, poor sister Jiva, she has to plead the blood because she will say something and I'm like, you're wrong.
Yes, they don't like that.
I don't agree.
And for me, my children, it has to be, I need you to understand that you are able to express yourself.
You have to
explain to me what's going on, and even if you might get upset, it's a safe place.
It's a safe place.
That's
the
back.
key word, is a safe place.
You.
So I definitely, in my old age, I call out my mom. And she don't like
in
that.
a polite way, right?
I have to because I don't
In
want to
a
get boxed
polite
down. I still, she can still box me down, but I call out my mom and I call out my uncles and I call out my aunts and I'm like, that's wrong or that's not really nice. How would you feel? You know what I mean? And well, a long time, I just bought it. Yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't mean it's right.
My mom has never owned up to anything. She doesn't feel like she's doing
I do it
anything
too,
wrong.
though. Deja be like
she's
to
a
me, she'd be
Cancer.
like, Mom, she'd be like, you like, I'd be like, whatever. And she's like, Mom, she's like, and I'm like, you're wrong, Camille.
Yeah,
like,
you have to.
You're really wrong. Like, because that's how I was raised. It's like, don't talk back to me.
Yeah. And that's
Who
it.
you raising your voice
but,
to? Like, you know what I mean?
But expressing yourself is not talking back, and that's what we have to get on. With your mom not, like, ever owning up to her wrong, right? Does it create, like, friction in the house, or?
Well, it kind of does, but I've kind of, like, at my age, I've gotten used to who she is as a person, and I've known that for a very long time, so I don't read too much into it. But it's funny because early when I was talking about, like, the emotional trauma and things like that pertaining to relationships, and then when you were talking about, when it's just, when it becomes surfaced and then when it comes to light, and then, like, it kind of hit me because I almost went over the fact, like, I didn't even talk about it. I'm just thinking, like, with my parents and stuff, and them getting divorced, and him being abusive and things like that, like, I never talked about it. I thought that was, like, normal. So now I just realized, I'm like, so the emotional stress I'm talking about in relationships now, like, it comes from the past. It's like
way back.
Where I'm thinking, like, it's okay for a dude to just talk to me and deal with me however way, like, as if that's what they're supposed to do. You know? And then, like, surprisingly so, like, because my dad passed away, 6 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And I've always been like, regardless of what they went through the divorce, I was always just like, I want to see my dad. I want to see my dad, and I love you, Daddy, and this, that, and the other. And then, like, a couple months ago, I don't even think I told y'all, but I literally broke down, and I was like, I started, like, I called my mom, and I just cussed her out. Like, I was probably a little tipsy that night or whatever. And I was just like, because even, like, she was vexed with him and hated him all the way to his grave until now. So I was just like, and I was pissed at her because of that, because it's just like, it just talks so negative about my dad regardless of, she never used to go fully in depth of what they've been through, but I actually witnessed it as a child and never talked about it. Right. But still, like, I still have that love for him because that's my dad regardless of the day, And me and her have never even had, like, she can, like, talk down to me and tell me when it comes to things I'm not supposed to do in a relationship, and kind of like an aggressive way. It's not like sitting me down and just being like, you know what, daughter, let's talk about this. This is what men are supposed to treat you. It's more just like, you need to leave him alone. Kind of thing. So it's just like, but it's just, now I'm thinking about it, I was just like, oh, Lord.
And it's funny you say that when they want to give relationship advice. And I look at my mom and I'm like, you've been single from my dad since I was 6. I'm 42. Yeah. And she's quick to tell you that I haven't had no man since I was, and I'm like, do you even, like, it's sewn up? Like, do you even, like, how can you give, you know what I mean? So I do this. So it's funny that you said that, that she gives relationship advice, and they're giving relationship advice from relationships that cause trauma.
I know.
You know what I mean? And if we're not smart enough to identify and aware to know that where it's coming from, we'll take that and then we're going to apply that. You know what I mean? So that's why we need to be like, whoa. Yeah,
that's
like
your trauma.
That's your trauma.
And it's like the opposite for me with my mom. I'm the one that's like, I feel like I'm the mom sometimes. Right. So it's like I'm looking at her and I'm just like, nah, this is what happened. Right. This is what you got to do. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like there's like that role reversal
afterwards.
I know that's. Oh my gosh! Like I'm like
the same side.
Yeah. Well, you guys, this was an amazing show. We're nearing the end.
I know. So this is.
I'm glad you guys were kind of tight in the beginning. You guys didn't want to talk.
It was me. It was me. Don't say that. It was me. It was me. I was like.
But I love these topics. I want to do more of these topics. I think it's just good for people to listen to, good for us to share. Do you guys want to give a shout out to someone? Let's start with ATL. Shout out.
Well, I'll give a shout out to my son. I'll give a shout out to my son, Jude.
Yes.
For sure. But I also want to let y'all know that I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a licensed mortgage agent in Ontario.
Yes, I forgot to shout that out.
Yes, I'm a licensed mortgage agent in Ontario. So I do all residential, purchasing property, commercial, basically anything you want. You can contact me in my personal email at deidrejude@outlook.com. That's DIEDREJUDE@outlook.com. And I promise you, I'm the... Okay, fine. We close the tough deals. I can get you the best rates.
There you go. Okay, sis. I don't know how to top that one. I'm just baby. I want to shout out my beautiful children, K1, Deja, and Camilla. I love you guys. Say that again. Shout out my beautiful children, K1, Deja, and Mimi. I love you guys.
And your mom.
Thank
and
you
your
for-
mom too. ATL, your mom, and our parents.
My
We love you
family,
guys.
Mommy, I love you.
Yes. And Miss Bling.
Miss Bing's over here recording. Who's gonna record you now? Let me record you.
So I want to shout out both of my children had their own businesses.
Nice.
And
Yes.
So my son's business is
Sneaker Freaks.
Sneaker Freaks. Yes. He sells shoes. And then my daughter is Kai Kai Blast. KHI.
Blast.
She sells bath bombs with surprise toys inside. And then for myself, it's Her Throne. What is it again?
Yoni Semen. All right. So shout out. So everyone, good night. Thank you for joining us. It's your girl, Miss Jeree.
Guys, for having
It's your boy